one team bans the Varia, especially on the A side, you'll find the B side will ban Taki. Is there any kind of particular reason why that is?
The Taka ban is primarily because he shuts down a lot of the ADCs or even mages that you see commonly, such as Ringo. He can do crazy burst damage to these squishy carries. To just get him out of the way makes your draft a lot simpler, and
Yeah,
it really opens up a lot of picks in terms of your laners.
yeah, and we do see Blackfeather first pick up on the side of attrition, followed by Arden by Stormguard Saga. Both of these heroes are very strong in their individual roles. With the Blackfeather being primarily very flexible between weapon power and crystal bar, Starboy, do you think that's definitely a power pick that attrition have picked up?
Absolutely. They can flex this anyway. It really helps their draft be flexible. As you can see, Stormguard Saga picking up the Arden, another flexible hero. You can play him with nearly any composition and also very good against dive compositions. So they really want to be protecting somebody against this Blackfeather. Arden is just a solid pick. I'm assuming they're going to ban out the Churnwalker or possibly Grace here. You don't want to see
Yeah.
Grace with Blackfeather. They do ban out the Churnwalker. Very, very strong pick. Good ban, although they will have to watch out. Team Attrition is almost guaranteed to get a Grace pick, so we'll have to see what Stormguard picks up at this next pick after Attrition's ban. I'm looking for a ban from Attrition to sort of bring Rona is a very good ban because she counters out Blackfeather in the weapon position, so they can make sure they have their options open with that hero.
I kind of disagree with the Rona ban because I would have banned a hero like Vox, and that I felt would have put Stormguard Saga into picking Rona as their second pick, which could have easily have put attrition with the Blackfeather CP, and their last two picks could have looked to shut down the third pick from Stormguard Saga. But we will see what Stormguard Saga do pick as their second pick, Starboy.
Absolutely. As you can see, they're taking some time making sure they get their composition right. It looks like possibly they were looking for the Rona pick. They're not exactly sure what they want to be picking. I'm assuming they're going with the Ringo, the ADC pick. It's the safe pick for them. Ringo is a very strong pick right now. They do have to watch out for that Black Feather, but with the protection that they have from the Vanguard and the peel with the Gauntlet, their composition is looking very strong right now, and we'll have to see what attrition picks up to counter this.
Yeah, I'd like to see definitely a Grace pickup, and then they've gone for the Batiste. What
The
do you think of that,
Batiste.
Starboy? Is that a bit risky?
I think showing that pick doesn't really make much sense. It doesn't look like Stormguard is going for a dive composition, which is typically what Batiste counters. And they also pick up the Lyra as opposed to the Grace. Kind of an interesting draft. It's definitely not very meta from what we've seen before, but we will most likely see the Crystal Batiste in the jungle and the lane weapon Blackfeather, along with the Lyra heals, will be a very durable comp in the late game. But we'll have to see what Stormguard picks up here.
Yeah,
Sky's
I
a
was.
very interesting pick. That's probably
I
their
was.
best pick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Sky was most likely the best option for them, as she does somewhat counter the Batiste, is able to dance around the enemy heroes, and I feel like attrition have kind of lost this draft a little bit because it kind of tends to put a lot of pressure on Blackfeather to get onto the front line and onto the Ringo. However, if we can see an aggressive early Batiste invade Stormguard Saga's jungle, we could see attrition getting ahead in this game.
I absolutely agree with that analysis. I do also think something to watch out for is Stormguard has put together a wicked duo in the jungle with this Arden and Sky. Incredibly strong duo. We're going to have to see some insane early aggression, and we're going to have to see attrition really play to their win condition, which would be locking down one of the hyper carries on the side of Stormguard Saga, such as Ringo or Sky. They'll most likely be trying to focus down this Ringo in fights, but they're going to have to perform flawlessly because this is a very difficult draft for them.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is very difficult for attrition. And Stormguard Saga, what kind of builds do you expect to see coming out from both the Ringo and the Sky as we just are getting ready to get into this match?
Well, a very meta build for Ringo right now is the Spell Sword Double Monocle build. We'll have to see if that's what he's going to go for. A breaking point may be in order as well because, as we said before, they do have a very, very durable comp in the late game on the side of attrition. but I'm assuming this Ringo will be going for the meta build. Skye most likely picking up the Dragon's Eye as a first item to really get the major damage that she'll need to be doing in the mid game. Also, most likely an Eve of Harvest or possibly a Frostburn for the sustain or lockdown for the peel that they will need to be accomplishing in these fights.
Yeah, and talking a little bit about the Batiste, as you see the standard rotations coming out from these two teams, Starboy. One thing I've seen on a Batiste, I believe it was either yesterday or the day before, from one of the teams, was he built Clockwork as the first item on the Batiste instead of the Dragon's Eye. Would you think that's maybe a wiser choice, or that was maybe just particular to that game situation?
Absolutely. Clockwork is a very strong first item. We do see, however, Attrition actually picking up that Elder Treant, even though StormGuardSaga had started that up, taking a little bit of the aggro. They come through, Attrition securing that. Very good for them. Revenge will be going up to lane, getting a little bit of a CS lead as well. Strong start. Back to what you were saying, though, Dragon's Eye is definitely a second item, I think, preferred for Batiste, because Clockwork is so good at lowering the cooldown on his Fearsome Shade, which is that CC that they'll be needing this game to lock down one of the carries on the other team. So we'll see. It's possible he may go Dragon's Eye first as well, but it's really up to the player. I do think, however, Clockwork would be the better item this game.
Yeah, and I think as we do see, the Black Feather is putting a good bit of early game pressure with the Lyra on the Ringo and the Arden. That's, I think, it is going to be important, but it also comes down to the rotations that come out.
As you're saying, Skye rotates up to lane. A little bit of a gank in here. She's getting some good damage onto Lyra and Blackfeather. Blackfeather actually going onto Ringo. The flasks are popped. Ringo going so low. They get the first blood onto it for Attrition. Onto StormGuardSaga. Huge return. The rotation coming up from Batiste. That was a huge ordained, very heads up play from him. Even though Killmaster was the first to rotate to lane, they really made a heads-up play there. Ordain comes through. She's taking so much damage. The kill goes over to Attrition. Again, that's 2 kills in the first 2 minutes. That's a huge start for them. They can take the Elder Treant, an XP lead taken for Batiste in the jungle, and a huge CS lead will be going over to this Blackfeather in lane. As you can see, he's already 12 CS up on the enemy jungle or the enemy laner. What do you think of this game right now, man? Is there a possible disconnection? Well, it looks like I'm going to be solo casting. As you can see, Blackfeather really outtraining this Ringo in lane. He's got a pretty big advantage here. Lyra has picked up only the Okar and the Iron Guard contract. She'll probably be porting here. It looks like they may look to perform a rotation. Or actually rather just sustaining in lane. Interesting decision. Around the 4-minute mark, we'll probably see some rotations. However, you can see there is still a large XP lead. This Batiste is a level up on Skye and some CS from those Elder Treants that they were able to secure. Killmaster will be coming up to lane, however. Possible gank incoming. They'll be looking to return the pressure because Attrition has been getting so much pressure. That's a lot of damage going on to Lyra. She drops pretty low. Revenge also less than half health. They can actually return this aggression on the lane now, and finally StormGuard gets some of the pressure off of Ringo. However, the Lyra does provide a lot of sustain in lane. They'll have to be watching out for that. You cannot pressure out a Blackfeather and Lyra in the lane with only a Ringo. It's not going to happen. They have a lot of sustain.
Yeah, I do apologize about that, Starboy. I had a small bit of technical issues from my side. So, what happened when I was gone? Because unfortunately, I did miss a little bit of action. Why don't you just summarize it for me so I can get a little bit more caught up?
Not a lot happened. There were a couple rotations up to lane. Killmaster putting some pressure on, but no kills, as you can see. The XP lead remains the same in the jungle, and there's still a CS lead in the lane. Blackfeather is actually almost 20 CS up on his opponent. There is a 2.2 goal lead for Attrition right now, which is pretty sizable at only 4 minutes in the game, and it's due to their rotations and their outmaneuvers in lane. And they really have a lot of sustain in lane, so they have not had to port as much as this Ringo. Crucible pop, that won't be available to them, but the Crucible early game is not really meant for the CC on Lyra. It's just giving her the extra health and healing that her Sigil provides.
Yeah, definitely. And we see that Batiste has gone for Dragon's Eye first item, just going out for maybe just a bit more poke damage to make sure that the Ringo kind of stays back and stays in his place so he can't deal out too much poke from his point of view.
Absolutely. What do you think of the Frostburn picked up for Sky here as a first item?
I don't agree with it because if attrition had double double dive comp or even a triple dive comp, yes, I could see it. But you have the slow from Ringo on his twirly silver. You want to go for pure damage and stacks as we see Sky
Absolutely.
doing damage.
However, with the CC that does provide the slight slow on his forward barrage now, they were able to lock down the Lyra a little bit, get a little bit of damage done. Hopefully, you can see them return a little more damage with that. However, I do agree that that was possibly not the optimal item. I think a Dragon's Eye is almost always the best decision for Sky. But you see Revenge trading with Kilamaster a little bit. Kirito also going in with them, possibly looking to steal away this mid tree. Kilamaster using the death from above. It's secured for attrition. However, they're going on to Kilamaster, returning the damage. Kilamaster goes down. Although Kirito took a lot of damage, he was able to make that out alive. That's definitely a very good play, a nice rotation to steal away the mid. And Belt Pots was not able to perform the rotation in time to return that aggression. Wow, what do you think of this lane push? However, it sounds like there's a little bit of a connection problem. However, Revenge is going on, doing so much damage to Ringo. Fountain comes out, 5 Heartthrob stacks. Revenge looking for the kill, but he does not get it. Gauntlet comes down, Death from above, and the Hellfire Brew landing onto 2 targets. Huge AoE. However, Revenge is going very low. He's looking to get away. So low, the burn damage almost killing him, but he lives. Kirito is going to be stuck in this lane. He's going to have to try to keep this turret from taking too much damage. Revenge stays, actually. He will not be porting. He gets the heal up from the sigil, and it looks like StormGuard is going to be backing off because they don't have the sustain that Lyra provides. And it looks like this Blackfeather will be going the meta build, which is Serpent's Mask Breaking Point, which I think is probably the optimal build in this case. And also, Lyra will be picking up this Fountain very shortly. She does have 2,000 gold. That's enough to be picking that up at the shop right now. She does pick that up. As you can see, Kirito with the Dragon's Eye has been doing so much damage, but his clockwork is almost finished. And also, this Sky is possibly looking to build towards an Eve of Harvest. She does have an energy battery. However, I think she does need a damage Dragon's Eye will provide in the mid game. She may be building towards that as well. It's unknown. But Belt Pots, as you can see, does pick up the Spell Sword. He looks like he's going to get a Breaking Point second item, however, which is not quite the meta build, but it could possibly be in their favor. Blackfeather, however, doing so much damage to Arden. He does have a lot of oh, he goes onto Ringo. Huge damage. Incredible damage with the B. I did not think the on point would do so much damage. Another kill over to attrition.
He had built up 11 stacks, Starboy, and that was really impressive stuff as he goes in again on the Sky.
Sky dropping solo, 5 Heartthrob stacks on her. Huge damage. Gauntlet comes out, but it may not be enough. Revenge still looking for the kill. Backs off. They will choose to take out this turret. Another huge play from Blackfeather, just doing so well on staying on his targets and getting that damage out. We'll be trading a little bit, but backing off.
That was a great fight win and actually turret push, which is it's a first objective from a game winning point of view. It's opened the map up for Attrition Starboy, and it's really good to see. However, I actually feel they could stay where they are, keep putting pressure, or like we see, they're going for the gold mine.
They will be going for gold mine.
Possibly a little bit risky with all the StormGuard Saga. It could be a little bit risky, but
however, it looks like Revenge is running interference here. He's going on to Kilamaster. Already so much damage. No armor on the Sky. He melts him. The Fear actually picking up the kill onto that. Blackfeather going on to Ringo. So many stacks. 380 damage on the execute. He gets the kill. Goes for 3. He gets the double kill with a huge heads up play. Like I said, Revenge was going for the interference. The gold mine was really just a bait. With Blackfeather sticking to these targets so well right now, there's nothing StormGuard can do to return the damage from this Blackfeather.
There is more bait on that play than in the fishing rod, Starboy. It's absolutely fantastic stuff coming out from Revenge. So that's it.
Going over to the gold mine now, focusing on objectives as they should be doing. Very, very smart. What do you think the StormGuard should be doing in this game right now to get back in, as they're looking at an 8K gold disadvantage right now?
Positioning is the most important thing that they need to focus on because they haven't got the damage yet. So they've got to take it back a little bit, kite as much as possible, do that poke and use the frostburn to the advantage that they have, slow the enemy down a bit, and then when the right engagement is found, they can possibly go for it. But until Ringo gets his third full item, because you do see the breaking point picked up, and when the Sky gets his second full item, then they might have a possible chance. Until then, they are just, if they keep on engaging or falling for a bait, they are going to they're just going to lose the game quicker and quicker.
I definitely agree with you. It looks like they need to be playing the turtle game very strong right now, because they are looking at a large XP and gold disadvantage, and they have so much items picked up. Lyra has 3 items. Blackfeather already has 3 items, and Batiste is looking towards his 3rd damage item right now as well. Huge gold lead for the side of Attrition, and they're going to continue working StormGuard in these fights unless they perform a crazy mistake, or StormGuard is able to stall out the game until they can find a fight where they can actually find an advantage.
Yeah, I absolutely love the War Threads pick up on the Lyra. Really good maneuver as we see the Death Storm above on the minions for no reason.
Absolutely huge damage coming out of the Blackfeather again. Kill going on to Ringo. Gauntlet comes out, stuns up the Blackfeather. Killermaster desperately trying to kite back, but will it be enough? No, Blackfeather does so much damage, and Arden definitely going to be dropping here. Huge damage from this Blackfeather. As we said, they have such a large lead in items right now. It's looking impossible for StormGuard to take a single fight, as there's such a massive lead. Attrition has absolutely run away with this game.
Yeah, it's 11 kills to 0 for Attrition. They're nearly 10k gold ahead. The Sentry has been defeated for the 2nd time, so that only leaves 1 life on the board for the Sentry. StormGuardSaga are in a very, very dangerous position. I'm not going to say that they can't come back from this, because you can always come back. It's not over till it's over, Starboy.
Blackfeather begins Atlas. However, he's still getting those breaking point stacks. Death from above comes out, locking up 2 targets, but it is Crucible. The Fear comes out, unblocked. Arden goes down. Huge damage from Blackfeather as he goes onto Ringo. Unstoppable right now. However, oh my god, he gets so low. He dives the base, but does not find the kill. Ringo and Sky doing a great job kiting back. The Hellfire Brood lands, but it will not be a problem, as they do have Lyra. Wow, what do you think of what just happened there?
It was great by Sky to kite back, but because of no.
The Killermaster dropping so low yet again. This Blackfeather is out of control. The Ordained comes through for Arden, does lock him up. However, they are not able to secure kill. Breaking point, getting so many stacks for Ringo. He's trying to turn around the damage, but the Fear comes through onto Arden. Huge damage, by the way, from the Batiste there. He actually landed one of his bad mojos onto Ringo and did 800 damage, which is absolutely disgusting. However, Ringo did do a very good job of not giving over another kill, and he actually got a lot of damage, forced Attrition to actually back off for the first time this game. However, it's still looking very grim for StormGuard, because they are 12k or 11k gold behind. But I don't believe how well Attrition is playing, showing extreme self-control and discipline. Yeah. This is the kind of competitive environment that we like to see these kinds of players thrive in, playing at their absolute best. Flawless gameplay coming through from Attrition. I'm especially impressed with Revenge. What do you think of his Blackfeather play this game?
One of the most aggressive and competent and realistically structured Blackfeathers we've seen. Knows who he wants to go for, and he gets the job done on it. And it's amazing, because some Blackfeathers, because he tends to be mobile, will get distracted by an enemy hero, but not Revenge. He'll just focus down.
Insane focus. Yeah.
And it's fantastic seeing. Then we have Batista's just doing the damage because there's not enough CP defense. Well, there's none on the Ringo, and there's none on the Sky as well.
He does a lot of damage, especially once he gets his stacks up and becomes empowered.
Exactly. And If I was a BT, so I would actually even sell the shield and get it and look to build a shatter glass.
A fight's breaking out as we speak. Ringo starts the fight, blown up. The fear landing onto Sky. Gauntlet comes out. However, it will not save him. Revenge is unstoppable. Sky desperately cutting back, but the damage is immense from Batiste. It is impossible to escape. We actually see a surrender coming out from StormGuard. They are getting rolled over by attrition. Very, very heads up play from the Black Feather there to lock down the targets. As you can see, they're able to make these split-second decisions on who to focus in these fights. Very well played by attrition. These players played flawlessly.
Yeah, they did. It was an overall unbelievably well-structured, well-composed game because we both kind of agreed that they had a bit of a risky comp, Starboy, and that they had, with the Batiste, we kind of questioned how well they were going to be able to get onto the Ringo and how risky was going to be for them to close out the game. But I mentioned during the draft that if they were aggressive with their comp and how they went into these team fights, that they had a chance, and they showed it. Revenge,
Absolutely.
absolutely amazing. Complete MVP of this match.
Definitely, I completely agree. The draft did look favorable towards the side of StormGuard, but just as you said, they ran away with this game. They showed the early aggression that we said that they needed, and really showed up on the picks that they chose. And honestly, when you're at this level of competition, you really want to be picking your comfortable picks. It's not always your smartest choice to be going for the meta picks. You really want what you can excel at, and you can see just how that affected this game.
Yeah, and of course, hindsight is definitely 2020, Starboy, and maybe the Sky wasn't the right pick if they had have, let's say, not succumbed to the Batiste, and if they had have gone for a frontline hero like maybe a Reza or a Koshka, that would have, let's say, been a bit more aggressive. It would have given Ringo and even Arden a bit more freedom to poke, prod, and get in the right positions. But because they had double range, Starboy, it's kind of like they were waiting for attrition to engage on them, and because they couldn't handle it, attrition won out 9 times out of 10.
I completely agree with that analysis. And another important thing to note, possibly, is the builds on the side of StormGuard. Possibly not the optimal builds. As you can see, the Ringo did opt for a breaking point second item as opposed to the spell sword double monocle build we see so often. And it really did not do as much damage as you could see with the crit build. And as well as the Sky, they were just not putting out the damage they needed. She got a Frostburn first, which is not known for its excellent damage. It does not put out the same damage as Dragon's Eye or other CP items such as a Shatter Glass. It's very possible the itemization cost them a lot of this game as well.
It definitely did because let's be perfectly honest. Frostburn is a potato item in Vainglory right now. It does, and I should know. I'm an Irish person. I know about potatoes.
Know a thing or two about potatoes.
I do, and it is genuinely just an outright potato item in the very, very, very specific game comp situation, maybe. But there's a reason why Dragon's Eye and the likes of Clockwork are such strong items right now because they are being picked up, they're being used, and they're doing the damage. So yeah, 100% the build paths coming out from Stormguard Saga definitely contributed to their loss.
I completely agree. You can see the draft has started now. StormGuard Saga now on A side. We'll have to see what they decide to deal with. Honestly, if I were StormGuard, I would ban out the Black Feather A side. He's such a good flex pick in drafts. You really don't want to see attrition with that pick again. You've seen how good Revenge is on it. Who knows how well they can flex it into the jungle as well. I would say get rid of that pick. We'll have to see what they choose here.
Well, they could, because they're on the A side, they could, let's say, ban something else, ban the Varia or ban the Taka, and they could pick it up as first pick themselves and then take it away from attrition, and they have a power pick.
That's also a possibility. However, I do feel as though they should not ban the Varia. It is a perfectly good pick, or ban rather, to take away the Taka from attrition as well. Like you said, though, there's a few other bans they could go with. However, they have spent a very long time deciding this. They really don't want to mess this one up. What do you think ultimately is the best ban for them?
The best ban is something like you could call it, let's say, throwaway ban, but it is a strong ban. But they could ban the Churn Walker, because it is taken off the table, and it means that Attrition have to ban something and leave another powerhouse open.
Uh-huh. And at this point, the draft has now restarted a third time. They're definitely thinking very hard about this one. A lot of collective IQ being contributed towards this ban here.
Yeah,
They don't want
they,
to mess
they
this up.
yeah, because they are getting behind Starboy, so they have it all to play for, and they
Mhm.
know that they have to pick the
Ah,
perfect comp.
do see a Varia ban. Very interesting A side
Okay.
ban. They don't want to deal with that hero at all, and they still want to leave their options open for a possible Black Feather pick, or maybe even a Churnwalker. Any of these very popular meta picks, possibly a Rona as well, which has seen a lot of competitive success recently in both VIS Pro and Halcyon Elite. It's been a very common competitive pick. We'll have to see if that gets banned away here from Attrition, or what they choose to ban first.
It's going to be interesting. One hero I want to talk about that is a little bit in the meta, but not quite, is the Glaive. Weapon Power Glaive got a buff last patch, and on a crit build can do a lot of damage, especially with the Spell Sword giving cooldown on his Afterburn, Starboy.
I completely agree. However, Attrition does ban out the Churn Walker. They don't want to deal with that pick at all. Very, very strong early game hero. They're just going to get that off the table. Saga can now look to pick up possibly a Black Feather, maybe even a Grace or Lyra, pick up one of the healers, and possibly look to deny the other one away from the enemy team. We can kind of work out their draft a little bit once they make this first pick. However, I do think that it would be their smartest move to go for a Black Feather here.
It would be, and I'm kind of surprised that Attrition took Churnwalker off the table instead of Blackfeather, because even though Churnwalker is clearly a very strong hero, because he's a captain straight out, and he's somewhat, I actually think, easier to deal with and counter draft than Blackfeather is. So
Mm.
I'm interested by that.
Yeah, me too. But we do see the Black Feather picked up for Stormguard Saga. Very good first pick. From Attrition, they do have a few picks open to them here. It's possible they go for a healer, a comp centered around a healer. They pick up the Arden actually, which is pretty good into Black Feather. I do think they'll probably be banning away the Grace here. I think that would be their smartest ban. Black Feather Grace is a very strong duo. However, with these teams and players, you're not exactly sure what their comfortable picks are. Who knows if that's really the kind of comp they want to run? So Attrition does ban away the Rona, very strong pick. They don't want to have to deal with that as possibly a laner. Taka coming off the board as well, limiting the jungle hero pool of Attrition. They do have a very flexible draft here, though. They have Arden. This is actually pretty much a mirror of what we saw last game, which is pretty interesting. The teams have basically just switched positions. A side with the Black Feather, B side with the Arden. They can choose to form this draft however they want at this point.
But yeah, that's one thing that can be an advantage to Stormguard Saga, but they've got to make sure that they don't let themselves get baited, because I feel that
The Vox pick.
Yeah, Vox Peak is definitely solid. Yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen and how Stormguard Saga react to that. Don't forget, there's a lot of power picks open that could counter the Vox.
Absolutely. However, I do think that Revenge really displayed his dominance in the lane last game, and just how well he can play this position. I want to see him on another hero like Vox, which can ultimately basically solo carry a game. Very, very flexible pick. We do see a Ringo very good into Vox, but like I said, Vox has the ability to make huge plays. I can't wait to see Revenge on this hero.
Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting game
Catherine.
that we have. Catherine isn't really, she's strong, but she's not 100%
She's
meta
not
right now,
incredibly
Starboy.
meta, not picked very often. I think this is possibly a comfort pick, if I had to guess, a comfort pick for the support over here on Stormguard. They do have a very good duo though. Ringo and Catherine does counter Vox very hard actually, because Ringo ultimately in 1v1 trades, he should be out trading a Vox. Catherine locks down the Vox, assuming he does not have any sort of block available to him. She locks him down. Ringo's able to do the damage. Is actually a very strong composition from StormGuard. We'll have to see what Attrition decide to pick up in the jungle. There has been a few picks that have already been taken away. We won't see Ataka. What do you think their best jungle pick here for Attrition is?
I think the best jungle pick for Attrition would be definitely a Sky, because Sky counters Catherine, and it even somewhat counters Black Feather. The only risk is that the Ringo, if he gets a lot of poke and builds the spell sword double tyrants, can possibly shut down the Sky. So I think that's a little bit risky. Maybe something like a Reza Koshka, like I said in the previous game, is able to get on the front line, cause a distraction. But they've gone for the Batiste.
That's a questionable pick, but it may be a comfort pick. We did see them play Batiste last game. He did play very well on the hero, mechanically skilled at this hero. So hopefully it'll work out for them. We'll have to see how they play it. However, I do actually think the draft is stronger this game yet again for StormGuard Saga. They have as I said before, the duo of Catherine and Ringo into Vox is very good. And also Blackfeather is able to dive onto the backline, does counter out this Batiste. CP Blackfeather excels against Batiste. So it really comes down to the execution of Attrition here. It's kind of on them to be able to make the plays and overcome the disadvantage they have from this draft.
Yeah, and then if there's one team that I feel can kind of do it based on how structured and how formative they played in the last game, it is Attrition. And I'm kind of afraid to kind of pick a winner between these teams, between these two comp Starboy, because when I picked it last time, I'm not gonna lie, I was wrong, because Attrition essentially kind of blew us all away. So of course, looking from a draft point of view, I do think it's StormGuard Saga, but based on performance of the last game, I'm gonna go for Attrition.
I completely agree with you. I'm actually gonna put my vote towards StormGuard just to see a little bit of diversity. However, Attrition performed so well on their picks last game, but I do give the draft over to StormGuard. I'd like to see them step up their play this game, and I'm gonna say they're gonna take this one, and we're gonna go to a game 3.
Yeah, and going to a game 3 is something I haven't seen all that often. Out of all the games that I've casted for NACL so far, Starboy, only one game has gone to a 3-game series. So I want to see more of it, because I want to see these teams, if they go a game down, that they crawl their way back and they prove that they are not out of it and that they completely deserve to be where they are.
Completely agree. You see Catherine and Arden performing the standard rotations. They're both starting out, just keeping vision, making sure there's no invasions here, keeping the whole mid area locked up. We will see a faster clear, most likely, for Attrition here with the Batiste. They're clearing out these back camps very quickly. However, Kirito has taken a lot of damage due to the kiting of the camps. He took the aggro from all 3, but they will be clearing it quickly. Vegito coming around the top side to the tri-brush. They'll actually be making it to the Elder before Attrition here. However, last game, it was stolen away, even with the damage they initially got on it. As it goes low, they actually secure it. StormGuard going over to Killamasta. Now they put the damage on Arden. They're looking to continue this aggression. Couple Heartthrob stacks, Doorknobs dropping very low, actually. Has to pop the flask, but he's still so low. Ordained coming on to Blackfeather, stopping the aggression. Very good Ordained. So low, though. Doorknobs making it away just by the skin of his teeth. Very, very good play, though, from Kirito to ordain up the Blackfeather there.
Yeah, it was. As we know, we do see the Vanguard coming out. Such a valuable ability to the Vanguard is Starboy, because it really helps, should any kind of engagement down, because it's going to be defensive. It's going to give you movement speed boost as well, so you're able to get away from the enemy.
Look out, Ringo. He's taking the damage. He has to pop his flask. Huge damage. What an incredible play. Doorknobs just biding his time, waiting for the perfect moment to go in. He uses his B. He uses the Vanguard, gets the damage onto Ringo. Even though the stun comes through onto Vox, they got a little baited into trying to deal the damage onto Vox. when in fact it was Ringo who ended up taking the damage and giving the first blood over to Attrition. Very good play from Doorknobs on this Arden.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw Killer Master taking that mid-century away again, and we see the Ordain come now. Just gonna hold back Killer Master, but consider it's a CP Blackfeather, he's being very aggressive in this.
Very aggressive, doing a lot of damage onto Kirito. He's at full Heartthrob stats. He pops out the flask. Catherine comes in with the stun. Oh my God, the regen from Batiste, but he still falls to Blackfeather. Blackfeather going down. Now a 2-for-1 trade. Attrition gaining the advantage out of that. Possibly a little bit of miscommunication from StormGuard, although there was a rotation from Revenge. There was no rotation from Vegito. Questionable rotation there. However, Killamasta securing the kill still. So the jungle isn't going to be snowballed or anything. There will be no jungle advantage taken out, but just a little bit of goal from that kill.
And it's one thing that I keep on talking about. When you're going for an engagement, you've got to ask yourself, Starboy, what is the advantage of this? If I get a kill, am I actually going to gain something for my team? And if you don't, there's no real point. And they were in the wrong point, StormGuardSaga, in terms of their rotation. Ringo had gone down, so he was just coming back. And Velpots didn't know where to go between lane and jungle, and it just wasn't worthwhile. Even though I like to see the aggression, it needs to be calculated aggression, Starboy. It needs to be timed aggression, so that when you do aggress, that you're gaining the most advantage from it.
I agree. However, we do see Catherine going in with a stun onto Vox. Vegito doing a lot of damage, but Killermaster dropped solo from the bad mojo. Huge damage. Pots popped both for Vegito and Belt Pots. Huge damage. Still going down. 364 damage. This huge lane dominance here. Absolutely disgusting damage coming out of Attrition. They candy the wave. They want to keep this pressure going. They get a little damage onto the turret. Vegito trying to buy this time here in lane, getting some more damage. Revenge takes a couple turret shots. But overall, surprisingly, however, we do see Killamasta with the XP lead. He did lock down a couple of those Elder Treants. Overall, the gold lead is pretty even with all these trades. They've made some interesting rotations and kind of counterplays here. Who do you think has the advantage at this point in the game, and where do you think these teams need to be fighting in order to execute their win conditions?
It's definitely coming down to the lane rotation right now in terms of the jungle going up to the lane, getting the poke onto the enemy heroes, trying to push that wave, get a little bit of damage on the turret. And I think that's where I worry about StormGuardSaga, because I don't think their rotations are quite as coordinated as Attrition's.
I completely agree. However, Kirito getting empowered, huge damage onto Killamasta. He will have to port here. That leaves the lane 3-2. Vegito already half health. Attrition is looking to put some lane pressure on, possibly take this turret here, or at least get some damage onto it.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to shoot down.
Vegito dropping so low. The fountain is popped. Huge ordained, but Vegito actually lives. The fear comes through, gets the kill. Also fears out Catherine. Killermaster going in though. He uses the ult, gets a kill. He's still trying to kite. He gets 2 targets locked up with his B, but Catherine drops down to the damage from Batiste. Killermaster making the plays. Oh my God, what damage. Absolutely incredible plays from Killermaster there. Even with a disadvantage, a 2v3 fight, he stepped up for his team, saving the turret and actually taking the advantage there.
I was going to talk about how I thought the Aftershock build for Sidon was a little bit risky, but we're seeing the burst damage that the Aftershock does with the proc of giving your basic attacks just that little bit extra. And also the mobility of Killermaster on the Blackfeather means, even though the turret has now gone down, really good stuff by StormGuardSaga in the second game.
Absolutely. I completely agree. However, Attrition is looking to counter push here. Who knows if Killermaster will be able to step up and make the plays again. It looks like they're going to continue pushing this lane in. Vegito, again, very low. There is a fountain available to both teams, however. What do you think? Who's going to take
I think they're going to defend it.
Getting the stun on the box. He's dropping so low, but Vegito also drops low. Killermaster going in, getting heartthrob stacks down, but he takes so much damage. Box goes down. Absolutely incredible plays again from Killermaster, really focusing down his targets. Arden will drop as well here. Huge ace for StormGuard, executing their win condition, perfectly. Belt Pots, even though he was low, and Vegito low as well, it looks like the advantage was going over to Attrition, but they locked up their targets and focused them down. Absolutely incredible play.
Killer Master just turned around and said, anything you can do, Revenge on Blackfeather, I can do just as well, if not a little bit better, because the damage coming out and the coordination and the mobility coming out from this Blackfeather is disgusting. And I think Attrition really need to start respecting it a little bit more. The Vox, I think, maybe needs to possibly look to kite back a little bit better, be in a slightly more defensive position, because he now has the breaking point. So it's going to be important that he builds up his stacks just a little bit kind of smoother before he's able to engage on the enemy team.
I completely agree. However, we do see Arden as level 6 now. Vegito locked up with the Ordained, dropping so low. The Gauntlet comes out. They get the kill onto Ringo and turning towards Belt Pots now, getting some huge damage down. The turret drops as well. Killer Master coming up to lane, but it does not look like he will be committing. Still looking for the poke damage. Huge play from the Batiste. A very good Ordained onto Ringo. He does Ordain Killer Master. They're looking for the kill here. However, he's changing the damage onto Vox. He's dropping solo. He gets feared. Possibly going to go down here. Getting solo. He turns on to Revenge. He gets the kill. Fountain is popped, but it's not enough. Going down. Killer Master dying, but taking one with him.
Yeah, that was a good recovery by Killer Master, but you can't deny the fact that, like I said before, StormGuardSaga's rotations are a little bit messier than Attrition's right now. They need to realize that they can win these team fights as a 3-man team, but the second Killer Master leaves the Ringo and the Catherine on their own, Attrition are going to jump on that because they are rotating and they are going together as a 3-man team. So StormGuardSaga, listen to me when I say go in as a 3-man team and a 3-man team only, and you really have a chance of winning this game.
I completely agree. It was a little bit of a mistake, one player getting caught out. However, it looks like they still maintain the advantage in this game. They've got a 1.5 gold lead. They're going in with the stun, but however, it does not connect. Revenge blows his block there a little bit. But it looks like StormGuard will continue to be pushing out this lane. Revenge dropping pretty low, actually. He's about 2/3 health. Gets poked out a little bit by Vegito and Killer Master, who look like they may be rotating down. They have a couple objectives available to them. However, they'll most likely push this lane out first before dropping. Stun coming out from Belt Pots. Killer Master looking for the engage. The silence comes through, but not a lot available to follow up. Gauntlet comes down. The team is split. Crucible is popped. Killer Master going on to Kirito. Goes through the Ordain with his ult. However, he gets feared. He drops so low. The Fountain comes through slightly late. He gets absolutely melted from the damage from Attrition. And now Vegito, the only member alive, will be desperately running away, trying to live. It looks like Attrition may look to take away either the Crystal Sentry or the Gold Mine here. Abilities that they need in order to lock down a target, and those were not.
Silence at the right moment, you're going to stop the Batiste from being able to deal out his fearsome shade, and you're going to make it a lot easier for the Blackfeather to shut the Vox down.
Absolutely. And as you can see, there is some more aggression. Killer Master is feared, though. The Crucible is popped for StormGuard. Vegito dropping solo. Revenge is doing so much damage here. He's building those stacks up onto Catherine, getting the huge AoE from the resonance bounces. They will be continuing this aggression. He's slowed up by the Achilles shot, but he's continuing to push into their jungle. They may look for Gold Mine here. Oh, but it is secured. The last hit on the mid from Vegito. He's turning the damage back onto Kirito now, getting the Hellfire Brew, casting it onto Kirito. However, the damage is mitigated from Vanguard. Revenge trying to deal some damage back here. The silence connects on the Vox. They go on the Vox, but Killer Master ults back. The Gauntlet comes through. Huge damage onto Revenge. These teams are dancing with each other right now. It is incredible to watch the pinnacle of competitive play right here. absolutely insane. They both have to back off from this fight. No objective taken.
Yeah, they're looking to do the last tango in Paris, Starboy, just to try and help each other win a game or one team to secure it. But yeah, that team fight was very elongated, and it shows that if you have an elongated fight, it will kind of play into the hands of Revenge and Carito, in my opinion, especially with the coordination coming out from Attrition. But you have to point out the StormGuardSaga overall held their own in that team fight. It's very even between the two teams, Starboy, because there's very little goal difference. There's literally 200 goal difference between the two teams. 10 kills for Attrition, 7 for StormGuardSaga. And I think a lot of these team fights, as we lead up to the Kraken being released or the Kraken coming up in the 15-minute mark, are going to be held in jungle. But in saying that, the lane is
the rotation up to lane from Stormguard. Velpot's looking for the stun, but it does not connect. Revenge turning the damage back, playing this Vox very well. He gets the AoE damage. He has so many stacks now. He's going on to Vegito. He gets the kill. Velpot stuns him up, but it's too late. There's already so much damage. The fear goes wide, but Catherine will be dropping here. Killermaster, the last member alive, desperately trying to kite back, misses the on point, and huge damage from the empowered Bad Mojo. The Ordained securing the kill there. Absolutely incredible turnaround from Revenge. He really did so much damage with his AoE. Incredible heads up play by him. His positioning was flawless and did absolutely disgusting damage.
Yeah, and you know, I talked about how they wanted to maybe kite back to build up the stacks, but that was really aggressive play from the Vox. And it was the coordination with the Batiste and the Arden that, of course, helped Revenge be able to be aggressive. But I think that really caught out StormGuardSaga more than usual, and it even caught me out casting. I was a little bit like, what the hell? He's going in so aggressively.
The stun comes onto Revenge. They're looking for a fight here. And the Hellfire Brew will be cast onto Revenge. It is blocked out, however. They're fighting for the mid. Revenge actually gets the last hit there. That's very good. That's going to be huge for them, actually. Gauntlet comes through. Huge silence. Silences two members. However, the fountain is popped for Stormguard. Revenge desperately kiting, getting a lot of stacks. He's going on. He's turning his damage onto the Ringo now. Catherine going solo. Killermaster takes huge damage there. Attrition really trying to push their advantage here. They don't find a kill, however. Velpots is looking dangerously low. He gets Ordained. Huge damage from the Batiste. Absolutely incredible play there. They will be taking this turret and possibly looking for Kraken. It will be coming up in 1 second here. Wow,
that was a
very
really important kill on the Velpots, but they're going to look to just continue on this.
Revenge, huge fear. However, the Ringo goes down. Killermaster desperately trying to kite away. It doesn't look like he's going to make it out of this one, taking so much damage. The Ordained, or the Bad Mojo rather, coming through, connecting. Huge, disgusting damage onto Blackfeather. Incredible. That was a very, very nice turnaround.
Stacks left, right, and center on the side of Attrition, and the coordination. You know, even though we saw a lot heavier in the first game, is Velpot's gonna look to steal it? No, Revenge just doing the damage, and the silence could steal it, but no, he's gonna back off as the Batiste is just gonna kind of solo it with the Vox helping him, and as
Doorknob's running a little bit of interference.
Yeah, Kraken unleashed on the side of Attrition, and StormGuardSaga, you got to give credit there, playing a much better game between draft and even team fights.
Absolutely. Wow, huge damage from Revenge. He does not quit. Wow. He's still going on to Ringo. He blocks out the stun. He gets the Vanguard. 2 kills over to Revenge. Incredible player. How does he do it? He's getting the 3rd. Oh, but the kill goes over to Arden. Still incredible play from Vox. This man is a monster. Unstoppable.
Revenge is definitely a monster. And I think when we saw the more aggressive Revenge in the second half of this game, we saw it really turn around for Attrition. Of course, we knew they had it in them because the first game they dominated. But it's like they let StormGuardSaga into the game, into this second game, a little bit too much. And they were paying the price in the early stages. But the second Revenge got the Sorrow Blade, Poison Shiv, Breaking Point build, as well as the Journey Boots, he was able to just kind of be aggressive, go in there while still building up the stacks, knowing and trusting the support coming out from both the Batiste and Arden. And it really turned their game around, Starboy.
Absolutely. And you could really see the turning point in that game, that one fight on Attrition side of the map where StormGuard didn't exactly have the right engage. Veltpod's going in with the stun and the silence. There wasn't much follow-up, and that really turned the aggression around. Attrition was able to execute their potential in that fight, and from there on out, it really showed how important it is when you have an advantage to maintain it and not make these sort of positioning errors and communicate clearly. When you're at this level of competitive play, you really have to keep those in check.
Exactly. And just to give if I was to kind of give